Welcome back to Design Bundle's YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Crystal. Today we are going to be personalizing a cutting board. We're going to be adding a monogram on here for a wedding gift using the Glowforge. So we have a really nice monogram. We have lots and lots of those that you can choose from. And if you guys are a Plus member, I'm actually using the One Plus credit. And if you guys are a Gold Plus member, I'm actually going to be using Scape to design it out. And then we're going to take it over to the Glowforge software, and then we're going to engrave it. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so starting off over here on designbundles.net, this is the file that I'm using. Like I said, it is only One Plus credit. Now we have tons of monogram files, like I said, whether you're going to be looking on designbundles.net in the marketplace, or whether you want to use some of those Plus credits. So I'm using this design, and then I'm also, let me head on over to my Plus purchases. I'm actually using this font right here. So we're going to go ahead and take these over to Scape so I can show you how I designed it. Now, what I did, as you guys can see, it's here. I've got it with Linzo. I have it already designed out. And the way that I did this is I'm going to go ahead and go to File. We're going to go to New. And then you're going to go ahead and go to Print. I went to 11 by 17 so I could create quite large, and I can bring it down if I needed to. And then I've clicked on the 11 by 17, hit Enter. And then from here, what I did was I went up to Image, and then I came down to Transform, and then I went to Rotate. So that way I could get that horizontal, canvas, if you will. All right, so the next thing I did, I went to File, I went to Open in Place, and then I went to Recent, and I just found my most recent download. You can feel free to go wherever your file is going to be located. We're going to go ahead and hit Upload. We're going to hold down that Shift button and drag out. So this is going to keep it proportional. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then whenever you're going to center this, you can see those, hopefully you can see that red bar there. It's going to give us those crossbars to give us that exact center. I'm almost there. There we go. So you can see, hopefully see those crossbars there, and that's going to center our design. So now what I did was I used that font. Now, if you guys are using Scape, it actually is already loaded with a lot of font that you can already use. So you can come down to text to start adding the letters and the font. So if you click on text right here to change the font, you can go right up here. And I'm actually going to go ahead and click on this so you guys can hopefully see. That's where I've already had it in search. There is already a ton of font loaded in here. But if you've purchased any font from Design Bundles and you want to bring it in here, or you want to use some of your Plus credits for some fonts and load those, you can definitely do so. All you're simply going to do is click on Load Font, search for that font, click on it, and then it's going to load it right in here. You can use the search bar to find it. And if you want to favor any of these fonts, you can just click the star right here. And then for future reference, when you click on the star right here, it's going to bring up those favorites. So I've already have the font that I'm using, which is right there, highlighted. So I'm going to go ahead and click right here. I'm going to drag this guy down here. I'm going to start to type out that first letter, V. And then I'm going to go back up to my little pointer guy here. I'm going to make sure the transform controls is on, and then I can grab a corner, hold the shift, grab a corner, and I can size this guy out. Once again, I can use those crossbars to get that nice and centered. All right, so I think I'm happy with that. To add another text box, you're just going to go back to text and then click on the screen. It's going to use the same size as you did last time, and then you can adjust that. So I'm going to type out the Linzo. All right, and then go back up to your pointer tool, and then you're going to hold down that shift once again, and you're going to size down. All right, until you're happy with it, and then you're going to go ahead and center that up. Now, I've already got one designed out, like I said, which is right here. But once you're done with this design, say I was completely happy with it, I would go up to Layer, and then I would scroll down and flatten that image. So you notice it became one file right here, and then you're just going to hit on PNG, and it's going to download it straight to your computer. From there, you can head on over to Glowforge, and you're just simply going to hit the plus, upload, and bring it in. Now, you can see I've already got it in here. Now, let's go ahead and head on over to the Glowforge so that way I can load my cutting board. Now, before I actually head on over to the Glowforge, make sure you have already masked off your cutting board. I've already done so, and make sure you have really rubbed that down so it does not come up in the Glowforge. So this is already masked. It's ready to go, so let's load it. All right, so now that we've got it loaded, you can see that we have, I'm going to go ahead and hit the minus button here so you guys can hopefully see that a little better. I have our cutting board. I'm going to see if we can go ahead and focus this. We're going to go ahead and hit set focus. And I'm going to click right here. So what's happening now is the Glowforge is setting that focus so it knows how thick the material is and it's going to do the proper setting. So hopefully you guys can see that now. So what we're going to do is I need to center this guy up on my cutting board. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So I think I'm going to bring it down just a smidge. All right, so I think I'm happy with this. Once you're ready to go, you're going to make sure we can double check and change our settings if we need to. So we can go ahead and change those engrave settings right here. We can click on engrave. All right, so let's go ahead and go to unknown and let's choose our materials. I'm going to go ahead and choose that we're using like a medium basswood plywood. I think that's going to work for us. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and click on that engrave. You can change it, you know, a few options here. You can do draft, SD graphic, HD, or draft photo, or HD photo if you would like. I'm going to go ahead and do, let's see if we can see our settings here. I'm going to go ahead and set my speed at 1,000, and then I'm going to go ahead and set my power at about 70% here. And then I'm going to go ahead and do 340 lines per inch. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this down to that 340. All right, so now that we have our settings here, I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus, and I'm just going to go ahead and put in cutting board so that way I can save those. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and get ready to print. So we're going to go ahead and hit ready. As you can see, it's preparing our print now. It's doing a calculation to figure out about how long it's going to take. All right, so as you guys can see, we are getting down to our very last 10 seconds here. So you definitely don't have to take it this far. You could definitely do a score if you wanted to and have a, you know, just where it takes 5 minutes, honestly, if you did a score. All right, so it's cooling down now. We're going to get ready to unload this and shut down the Glowforge. All right, so our cutting board is completely done. So this one here took about 1 hour and 16 minutes. But like I said, you definitely do not have to take it to this extent. Now mine is a nice deep engrave, but you could definitely make it a lighter engrave, or you could definitely change that to a score. So that way you can, you know, just get a real light. It actually still will look really, really good, but it'll probably take around 5 minutes or so. All right, so the next thing we want to do is go ahead and remove our mask. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Now, all of your little bitty, itsy bitsy pieces, you can actually take a little bit of a stronger piece of tape and you can pick all of those up. So for example, all of these leaf pieces, you can take a stronger piece of tape. Now, I have found too, even just using that same transfer sometimes will help pick that up too. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm just going to continue to take all of this off, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the way that this came out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take a weeding tool here. Very carefully, just get me a start line here without trying to poke into that wood there. And there we have it. So see how this mask here is getting all of those. So instead of getting it all over the wood, it's getting it all over that mask. So that basically it's like the smoke of that burn, if you will. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just continue to weed all of these pieces out. So doing something like this with a cutting board, you can even get cutting boards from your local grocery store or even somewhere like TJ Maxx and Ross's and all of those places as well. And like I said, it makes the perfect wedding gift. It makes a perfect housewarming gift. Or if you want to give something for Mother's Day, Father's Day, all of those things as well. Somebody's anniversary maybe coming up. It's absolutely perfect. So like I said, all I'm doing now is just weeding out all of these little bitty pieces here. But if you have a stronger piece of tape, I promise you, you can really just kind of rub that over and pick them up pretty quickly. All right, so a few more. Now, I don't have any super, super teensy tiny pieces, so it's not bad just to kind of take my weeding tool here and weed all of these little bitty pieces out just like so. So as you guys can see, it's definitely totally worth to mask everything. And then you can definitely come back with a sealer if you wanted to seal this. Now, for this one, this is just going to be for display purposes, so I'm not concerned about sealing this at all. All right, so I'm going to move all these pieces out of the way so we can check it out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. So hopefully you guys can see a little bit better. I'm going to try to bring it to the side, and hopefully you guys can see how deep that engrave is. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It's worth the hour to do something this deep. It just looks gorgeous. But you could definitely get away, like I said, with just doing a score, especially if you need a quick out the door gift. You could download this 1+ credit. You can actually even use the font that's available for you inside of Design Scape and then bring it over to Glowforge. But there you guys have it. I absolutely love the way this one came out. And there you guys have it. You guys can see how nice this came out. I'm in love with this design. Now we have tons of different designs. Like I said, we even have some where the cutting board would go in this direction and you would have a real big wreath. You'd put the letter in and it'll say the family and you'll put your name down there as well. So there's tons of different ways that you could do this. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Now, if you guys recreate this, I definitely want to see it. You can do so by using #DesignBundles, or you can join our Facebook community group and you can post and share all of those projects so we can check them out. Tons of community members just like yourself with lots of inspiration creating projects every single day. And if you guys have any questions along the way, you need some settings for your Glowforge, there is tons of members as well as yourselves that are there to help you guys right away. So you guys can find that in the description below, as well as the design and font that I've used and the materials as well as your Glowforge. You're going to find all of that in the description below. If you guys have enjoyed this, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.